let me read a synopsis. Let me you know what I mean? Let me skip.
Yes.
Let me skip.
Yeah.
Um, the next thing we wanted to talk about is something I find really interesting is the whole so Val Kilmer, as we know, he passed away. I want to say last year,
Something like
if
that.
I'm
God
yeah,
rest his
he
soul.
passed in 2025. Um, and so there's a story that came out on Variety. I know that's your favorite. That's your favorite spot, people. But
Toads.
just rock with me. Shout out to Brent Lang over there. Excuse me. He wrote about how Val Kilmer is going to be in a movie called As Deep as the Grave, which I'm seeing uh, as ironic right now as I read this, considering what's happening. But he's supposed to be in the movie via AI. So this is not him in a sense of like, he shot scenes and then passed away and then they're finally coming out now. Um, this is something where like he never shot anything. Um, and the director wants to put him into the film. And so the director, I can't say his first name. We're going to say his last name, Voorhees, uh, which is also hilarious. He was saying that he built the character around Val Kilmer, and it drew upon some personal stuff with his Native American heritage and his love of the Southwest and all these other things. Like it was genuinely created for Val Kilmer, and so he's like, I want to have him in the movie, even though he's passed. And so he was thinking of using a state of the art generative AI to put him in the film. And he got the blessings of Val Kilmer's daughter, his estate, and I believe his son as well is also supportive of the move. His family, or I believe his daughter, came out and said that he was very big on new technology and, how that could be disruptive to the current landscape of filmmaking and stuff like that. And so they're saying that's kind of in line with how he would have felt. They're, and I believe they're saying that they think he would wanted to have done this. And so for me, I have a few different thoughts on the matter.
Mm-hmm.
Because this has happened before, but not in the same way.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say there has been CGI used to put people in films
Mm-hmm.
and to de-age them and stuff like that, and to give them a speaking part. Either have them have something that was recorded and like is chopped up to make it sound like they're speaking now, or just old dialogue. They did that with I want to say one of the Star Wars movies. I think it was Rogue One. I could be wrong. And so there's a thing that this happens, and you have to get this state approval and all this other stuff. And again, I'm a little shaky on this because I don't know, even though the family believes it, and we kind of have to take their word, right? Because it's the family. We also don't know. Val Kilmer has never said, if I pass away, put me in AI. Like it's not like it was in his will or anything, because they would have brought that up. And so I'm like, did he like? We're kind of speaking for him, or not us, but they're kind of speaking for him in this regard. He can't defend himself. Maybe he does like new technologies, but maybe he's talking about a cool way of shooting something versus generative AI, which actually, as we all know, steals from other places to form whatever this new piece of, I'm putting quotations up, art.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't know if he would feel okay about that, and then there's the idea of just seeing it and knowing that it's AI, knowing that it's not him, and having this weird uncanny valley situation where it looks almost real enough, but you know that it's not real. Like your eyes do this thing where it's like it makes it eerie and uncomfortable because you feel that there's no soul there, if that makes sense. And this is a problem that we've had with CGI, where they would do, like, for instance, the Pirates of the Caribbean, the first Pirates of the Caribbean. This is something that the creators behind that had to work on, because when they did the CGI for the people, even though they had like prosthetics and stuff like that, when they layered the CGI on, the eyes, it didn't look like a real person. It was close, but not right there. And so they either looked dead, which, I mean, they were, but they looked dead, or it was like, this is something is not clicking in your brain, and so your brain doesn't want to fill in the gaps. And so you're stuck with this weird thing that makes you feel uncomfortable, right? And so if he's going to be a major role in this film, you don't want that to happen. And we all know of AI, not having all your fingers, stuff being merged into other things and all this other, like, it's just, there's a lot of creepy stuff with that. And so I'm not a fan.
Yeah.
Not a fan of it at all. But I'm curious, what other people thought about it or what people are thinking about it. There's a lot of people talking about the situation, and most people are kind of leaning on the side of like, well, if the family wants it, the family estate is cool with it, why should we be upset? And well, I just gave you some reasons. You know what I mean? Well, what were your thoughts when I sent that over to you?
I thought it was so weird when you sent me that, and you saw my response, my
Right,
one word in
right,
response, like, this is hella weird. You sent me that. I read
yeah,
it immediately. As soon as you sent it to me, I read that Variety Report, our favorite news outlet. I said, WTF? And
right,
I was already exhausted. I was already tired. Okay. I was like, I was laying in my bed, and you sent this to me, and I read it, and then I was like, oh, come on.
right,
It's just,
yeah,
I just out loud was like, come on. So what can we say? The family says it's okay. I
right.
just thought in my mind, I was like, oh, okay, well, this is what we're doing now. Because I saw a Black Mirror episode on this.
Yeah,
And I'm like, um, it, come on. I totally understand. This is like a very interesting and kind of sad situation. Like Val Kilmer had throat cancer and couldn't speak anymore. And
right.
he really wanted to do this, but couldn't, and couldn't shoot. I don't know if this was a situation where he and his people thought he would get better, so they could just delay the movie until he got better. Because why wasn't this a choice while he was alive? Um,
Yeah,
and 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 then it would have been like, you have my blessing to do this while I'm still here, so I can be part of it and figure out, oh,
yeah,
tweak this, change that, da da da, blah blah blah. Maybe my mannerisms can be used, but you can film my mannerisms, and we'll have to chop and screw the voice because he can't speak anymore, type stuff.
right, right.
Because in a similar vein, Billy Connolly was not able to shoot for The Hobbit, and so they did CGI Billy Connolly, which I hate.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't like those movies anyway, but I do love me some Billy Connolly, and it was weird. And I don't know. I just felt like, well, if he is going to be in a significant portion of this film, then what's to stop everybody else from being recreated by AI and being put into films? And
yeah. Aside from law, in the sense that, well,
Mhm.
because I can see somebody suing them.
Yeah,
But if you get a hold of the estate, if they sign away their rights, not thinking about it,
yeah. And who
it's kind
wouldn't
of.
do that for a couple of dollars?
I mean, it's been up there, and that's something that the whole guild is working on as we speak. But like, yeah, it's like it's more so troubling, not so much on the person who signs their rights away, but it's troubling on the person who passed away and they no longer are in control. Like for
Right.
instance, we know that Prince, for instance, didn't want any tributes for him,
Yeah.
like when he passed, and people did it anyways. And it's like, well, even if we go like the family or the estate or whatever the case may be, like, no, he said, I don't want this, and you
Mm,
did it anyways. So like, is it possible? And I'm not accusing anybody in this situation, but I'm saying in other situations, could it be possible that the family is like, yeah, go ahead, because it's money, and the
right.
person's not here anyways. Um, they can't defend themselves, so yeah, go ahead and do it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it's that's the scary part.
Well,
Um,
what's scary is
yeah,
that what if it gets worse? What if it's like, let's just murder this person so that we can get them in this film that they didn't want to be
Okay.
in. I'm just saying that where does it end?
Ah,
Because
that's
look,
pretty far. I'd tell you that.
it's far down the line, but it is possible. The thing is that it is possible. It starts off consensual, even though we don't know that he consented because he's dead.
Yes.
So we don't know. It's just his daughter and son being like, yeah, this is a great idea. Oh my God, yay. And who knows, it might end up being a great movie. We might be like, oh my God, it looks like Val Kilmer, like for real, for real. We might even say all that. But like, I'm just saying, I did see this in a Black Mirror episode
That's what I'm saying.
where
No more Black Mirror for you.
no more Black Mirror. I mean, I mean, I
Yeah, it's
mean,
crazy.
some of this stuff is not like, okay, the whole thing about recording people's dreams and stuff, that may never come to fruition because you can't do that. But
Right.
getting people to sign away their likeness is extremely easy, especially when in that episode of Black Mirror, all it was like a cell phone agreement. It
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
literally just a cell phone agreement. And it was like, oh, well, your camera takes pictures of you all the time in video. And so now Netflix is allowed to use that because yay. Like I'm just saying it can be it's as simple as the terms and agreements on your TikTok arrangements. It's simple as the terms and agreement on the CVS website now, which now takes all of your health information that you're searching for. Like
Yeah, it's wild.
you're just all you're doing is searching to try to get the best price on freaking um Advil liquid gels, and next thing you know, it's reported to the government what you were searching for at a pharmacy because you might be trying to help somebody get an abortion. I'm just saying it never ends where we think it ends. So if this is supposed to be the new thing, we're already having issues with the deep fakes and stuff, but if this is the new thing, then the possibility of it going left is so strong.
Well, you do have a point because I remember with the Stan Lee thing where they were talking about how it seemed like he was under duress, like he wasn't healthy enough to say what he really wanted, and the people who had the power of attorney
Hmm.
were kind of like manipulate. I don't know if they were. This is all alleged, but
Right.
like we're manipulating him and basically working to control his money, control his likeness or estate or
Uh-huh.
whatever, until he ended up dying, right? And so that could be something where maybe people aren't necessarily like, oh, there's Denzel Washington, let me shoot him and then take his rights type stuff. But it could be something in a sense of like, oh, he's not he's ailing, he's getting older,
Right.
and so let me get in good, let me try to and then try to acquire the estate or
Yeah.
acquire whatever rights I can.
Yeah.
So when he does pass, I can now sell this
I
to the
can use them
highest bidder.
forever.
Right. To what I mean? So I can see a place where that happens, not
Yeah.
necessarily just outright murder, but in a sense of like we're gonna manipulate and because that was something with the whole thing with Britney Spears, Whitney
Yeah.
Williams, even though they're alive, but the idea of like they're someone saying that they're not medically or like they're not healthy, so
Mhm.
I have to come in and speak for them,
Mhm.
and then you set up stuff for you to get paid or for you to get
Yeah.
whatever. You know what I mean? So I can see
Yeah.
that happening. I
And
can see that happening.
and in this particular situation, if they're able to recreate him into a generous portion of this film, then it can be done with anybody, and a person does not have they literally do not have to be alive to be in new movies. That is the thing.
Right.
For this person can forever be in they can whoever owns them after they are dead will make the money, and these people are literally dead, and then 5 more movies are out. Like it's almost like Tupac releasing 17 albums after he died, but he's not on the island. Like it's like, no, we know the person said we went to their funeral, X, Y, and Z. You're like, oh yeah, I would love to go see that new Sean Connery. Hasn't he been? What are you talking about? I didn't. When did he? What? Mandela effect? Like what? Like no, it's like
Mandela effect for someone's like being alive is wild.
that's
That's
wild. That's
that's crazy.
literally wild.
Oh
It's
man.
usually the opposite. And
Right?
it's like, wait, when did he die? He's been in like I watched his movie. Like I've been watching. He has a new movie coming out next month. Like, man, his it's literally been wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Posthumous Oscars?
That's just that's a whole thing too. Like, I don't know. How do we even I think one of the cool things about, or not cool, that's probably not the best word, but I think one of the things that's makes someone's work stand out even more, or is you're more appreciative. That's the word
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking for. You're more appreciative of someone's work, um, in the sense that they can no longer make any more,
Yeah.
right? Like we need to cherish what they gave us in the time that they were able to give us
Yes.
this art, and you kind of cheapened it when you bring them back as AI.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like, especially without them saying they
Mm-hmm.
want to do this, that's a whole nother can of worms when someone says, hey, bring me back as much as you can because I want my family to have blah blah blah, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like, when it's not that case, it's like, man, like, I get that you want to do more stuff with this person, but you're cheapening what it is, what it meant for them to be here in the first place,
Yeah.
by doing all this extra stuff, right? So I don't know. I'm not a fan. This is not a movie I will be watching.
Yeah.
I will read the reviews and all that good stuff and see how people feel about it, but it's
Right.
not. I don't think I can do that. I just don't like. Yeah, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of generative AI, anyways.
Yeah.
It's just not a good. Outside of and this is it's one of those things where it's like you can only use this in the best terms possible. And I've seen that with, like, Beanie Siegel with, because his lung, he can't his voice isn't what it was, and so he
Mm-hmm.
uses generative AI to pull from his voice, from his
Mm-hmm.
records, to make, so when he records something now, it helps him sound like he used to sound.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm totally fine with that, because what he's pulling is from his stuff.
Yeah.
It's only his stuff that he's pulling from. But even then, that causes controversy because it's a learning machine. So the idea is that, oh, that information is stored somewhere, and now we
Mm-hmm.
can use it later.
Mm-hmm.
There's been issues with recording. Like, I used to use Otter for when I would do interviews,
Yeah.
and phone interviews and everything, and it would record the information, and then what it would do is it would put it into words for you. It would transcribe,
Yeah.
and that would help you out. Unfortunately, they've been coming under scrutiny. I think there was a lawsuit, I think, this past December, because they keep that information, like all of it's and they feed it into their AI to learn,
How
but
to
it's
have
information,
conversations.
right? But it's information that is private. Like, it's
Mm-hmm.
not for you to keep.
Yeah.
And I remember I think there was a journalist who said that they got an email because I guess the people were concerned about what he was talking to when he was interviewing someone, and he's like, you can't. That means you kept the information. Like, that
Yeah.
means you know what I mean? And, like, this is private. Like, let's say I'm making stuff up, but let's say I'm interviewing someone who was sexually
Yeah.
assaulted, and they don't want to give out their information, but you're transcribing stuff, keeps that information that they did give, that I'm omitting, and then it gets out somehow, and it's like, dog, like, what are you doing, right? And so it's just too many underhanded things that go along with it, that I kind of want to stay away from it altogether.
Yeah.
You know, um, it's just not healthy. It's just not
Nope.
healthy. And as artists, not a fan. Just not a fan.